Good morning. It is Friday, November 22nd now. We didn't work here yesterday at all because it rained and rained and rained, buddy.
Yeah, it did.
This is how much rain we got yesterday. This wheelbarrow hasn't moved, which is good. We've been going through a drought here in Massachusetts, so the rain is not a bad thing. Today would basically be day 4 here on this project. We're completely excavated, backfilled probably 2/3 of the way, and laid 1/3 of the way. We got some dark ones in the batch, but as you could see, we were here in the dark the other night. They did mix in really well, the color blends, but there's that one spot over here. There's a couple spots, but I'm gonna take some of these dark ones here and scatter them in those light spots to kind of mix up the color a little bit more. And those have just been coming off of both palettes really, but like every once in a while you get the dark ones, so you got to be paying attention, and it's definitely a little bit easier in the daytime to see. This side over here, we got to figure out where it's going to end on the joint line. We may have to dig a little bit more of that grass out, but that edge, this edge, and this edge are where they need to be. You can tell that we prepped out a lot further. I knew we didn't have to screed that far. We screeded more than we really had to, but the border's gonna come out like about a foot, and then there's gonna be a foot or so for a block wall to be built. So it looks like there's a lot of extra room here, but once this is all constructed, there'll be about another 6 to 8 inches of backfill behind the wall that he builds, and then we can just push topsoil to fade in all the grades. It's about mid 40s. I think 50s the high is gonna be today, so we're just going to be working a short day and just doing what we can. I don't want to be doing a lot with this machine because the ground's very soft right now. So any turning or any moving I'm going to do, we're going to make a mess. And the machine's clean. The job site's really not much of a mess, so I don't want to make it more of a mess. It's going to be nice this weekend. Everything will dry out, and then all next week's going to be like mid 40s to mid 50s. With like high 30s, low 40s as the low in the night. So next week we'll have plenty of time to get this job wrapped up. Borders are Benny.
Borders are Benny.
The borders are Benny Holman.
That's hilarious.
He's gonna start doing the border, lifting it up a little bit, setting them down. You know the deal if you watch the channel. Let's get into it. Hope you enjoy the video. bird just came out of nowhere, dude. They like this house though. There he is. Oh, they're coming. They're like, what are you doing around my house?
There's a birdhouse in there.
Yeah, right here.
Oh no, I mean,
There's what? They have a nest in there.
the backside, the back of it showing.
Oh yeah. All right, Ben got some border in. That looks nice down there. Had to dig a little bit more out because for this to be the perfect square, we had enough room for the pavers and the border paver, but we needed a little bit extra room for the concrete. So he's just prepping a little further right now. I got some chip stone in the bucket. Those screed rails are all set. Probably gonna be that bucket and another one. Good morning. Cold morning. It got below freezing last night. Ben just dumped out some ice that was in the wheelbarrow. We stopped right there on Friday because it was raining. It was cold, but that whole area is screeded. Looks like nothing disturbed it, nothing walked in it, which is awesome. It always sucks when you go back to a job and like there was like say an animal or dogs walked through the screedings and then you have to kind of trowel it out, but border's looking good. And I actually decided to bring the border in as like a little bit of an inlay for the fire pit area. So originally I was just gonna go around all the edges and encapsulate it. But seeing as this border we're using, it's a little different than what we typically use. We typically use a smaller inner border paver, which this would be a lot more difficult to do. There'd be a lot of cutting. But seeing as these pavers are the same size as the small one, we'll be able to incorporate it without doing any cuts, which is what I did. So the fire pit area is going to be connected, but also sectioned off as its own thing. Fire pit will be in the middle. The only unfortunate part, if you guys know me, there's some four ways, but that's just the way it is with border pavers. It's very hard to make them not line up on the corners, especially when you're doing the same size. But that isn't a huge deal to me. I think that border is going to look sweet. So I'm going to be laying that area out while Ben continues the border. He's going to wrap all the way around the fire pit area today, and we're going to hopefully just keep working our way over. customer put in some hours of his own, which is awesome. He dug some holes where the sonotubes are going to be going for the supports of his new steps. So I got the sonotubes. We're just going to have to put them in, center them off, and then we're going to just backfill that hole with 3/4, and we can backfill this whole area. And at that point, once we backfill that, we can come this way and then get another section of screed rails going and keep laying more pavers. Alright, that whole area is good. Ben's pounding away over here. So the way we're doing it, we're just leaving the screed rails that were in on the last one there. That's our benchmark. But I want to go another section out now. So I'm going to have to put in one of these sonotubes. And basically the way he set this up is we're going to be putting the tubes dead center. We'll backfill around it. And those sonotubes are going to get cut right at the bottom of the paver. And what we're going to do is, in the general area where these two are going to be going to support the timbers, we're going to take out the pavers in the closest area that make the most sense to form like a square or a rectangle. And then we're going to pour the sonotubes and then trowel the concrete flush with the top of the pavers. So there'll be two like footings that look nice and clean. We won't have to cut the pavers around a circle tube or anything like that. So it'll basically be the round sonotube turn into a nice square rectangle top for the footing. I got more 3/4 in my trailer, and we got some right here that I gotta spread out. So we gotta put 3/4 and then compact all that also once we get the sonotube backfilled and all the base prep stuff. It's almost 12, dude. Any words of wisdom yet? It's wise to stay quiet. I hear that. How you making out, dude?
Pretty well. Oh, this one's kind of not good looking. Almost around the corner. One of the many corners.
Many corners, dude. Many corners. All right, that lift is done. Probably gonna bring it up another inch here, up to like 3 inches, maybe 4 over there. That's basically like level, but we're still trying to pitch this. But if you watch the excavation part, you saw this side over here was down to like 11-12 inches in some areas. So I wanted to compact the lift, get it to height, and then compact it again just to be safe. I am ready to start another screed section, but before that, this customer wants to be able to down the road put some stone veneer panels on the wall. If you watched my channel for a while, you've seen me use a stone veneer interlocking panel before, and that's what he wants to try to put there himself. So what we're gonna do before we lay the pavers is install some angle iron for support on the bottom row of stone veneer, and we got to put that slightly below the paver here and go level with like the siding. So those are 8-inch panels high, so we got to take that measurement of 8 and find the nearest multiple of 8 that will put us below the paver right here, and then follow that line the whole way. Slotted angle, 14 gauge. It's not super heavy duty steel, but plenty enough to get the bottom row supported. And there's just holes everywhere, so I'll probably be putting a tap con every foot or so to make it nice and strong. But we'll basically take it one section at a time, pin one side, and then pull the other side up to where it needs to be to match the height, so that when he puts this on the top row, he'll only have to shave a little bit off the top of it. We just got lunch though, so we're gonna eat something because we got a long night, bud. We're not putting the angle iron on yet because I completely forgot my Milwaukee hammer drill at my house, and that is not drilling the hole. That got halfway of what we needed, and that thing's toast. Won't go anymore. So we'll have to either see if the customer has one, or I'll just have to wait to do that in the morning or the day after, depending on rain. But what I can do is set another set of screed rails up to this sono tube, and we could screed it, and I could lay this area and just kind of wait on this portion for now. I'm just gonna bring some stone in so I can empty my trailer and get an area ready to screed. Weather channel. Today is Wednesday, November 27th, day before Thanksgiving. So we've basically got 2 more days to finish this project here. Tonight's gonna be 34. Tomorrow's gonna be rainy and then get down below freezing. And then Friday's gonna be warm. But then every night from there on out, we're in the mid-20s. That means it's gonna be very difficult and near impossible to do the kind of work we do, because all the stone will be frozen. Everything's gonna be frozen. Frozen, bud.
Yep, things were a little frozen this morning.
Yep, it's getting there, man. That's why we've been working under the lights here, cranking along. Today we got to finish laying. I marked out the the center point of this square area, fire pit area. We didn't work yesterday because of rain again, so another lost day here. But I did come here and find this center point, and I also let my OCD get the best of me, Benny. What do you think though? Do you think it worked out?
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, man. I'm way happier with that. So I couldn't stand the look of this outer border of the fire pit area meshing in with the main pavers of the main patio area. Plus, there was a lot of 4-ways with the way that it lined up with the outer pavers. So not only did they match the main pavers, but they were meeting up with 4-ways. There's still a couple, but I shifted it all around and pushed everything back, and it got rid of almost all the 4-ways, bro, dude. Bro, dude, hey, guy, my son, dude, chief, yeah, boss. Like there's one, there's
more sense.
There's a couple, but yeah, that actually like separates super nice, way better. So not only did I do that and mess around with all this, but I actually lifted them up and hit them down like Ben has been doing with the border. So that whole area plus the pavers like right here, I set them all in with a hammer and made them all level, and they have a nice 1/8 pitch. So you don't have to worry about any of that, dude. You happy about that? It's nice, huh?
It's very nice.
Proud of me?
Not really.
Nice. You're probably upset that I pulled up a lot of the border you set in, huh? So you gotta make those cuts, and whatever the cut is, make sure it's like the same width joint, you know what I mean? It's not tighter. But once you get those in, from here all the way around and over, we can put concrete on the edge, and that's going to be something you do relatively soon. But we're going to let everything warm up a little more, dry off a bit, let the ice melt. I'm going to be starting with screeding this area off and laying some pavers. And what I'm going to do, we got 2 more pallets. I don't think we're going to use it all, probably just a partial of one, but definitely a full pallet. So I'm going to be pulling one down and putting it right on these pavers here so we can pull from it, and then the other one I'm going to put just right on the edge of the grass so we can pull from there and mix everything in. And then once we get everything laid out, Ben's going to be able to come down and around with the border, and on the outside of that border will be a small retaining wall. Got the block for that yesterday as well when I came here. And if you see the partial pallet of wall block, those are actually all solid pieces. That is for the fire pit we're gonna build, making like a somewhat custom fire pit. You can make whatever you want really out of these blocks. It's just there's not really a specific kit that you can buy with this block for a fire pit. You gotta just build it yourself. But the way I was thinking is they give you solids in the mix, 2 solids per row. When I pull that pallet open, you'll see. So in a pallet, there's 10 solids, but there was a pallet there that they had all solids. Somebody must have returned all the solids, and it worked out for me because I needed them. So we're gonna build the fire pit out of all solid block. I got a metal insert over there. It's just a basic metal insert, nothing fancy. It doesn't even have airflow holes. I'm gonna drill some into it. Whether we get to that today or not, I'm not sure. The main focus is installing the patio. So I'm done talking, dude. You got anything to say?
Nah.
All right. Hope you enjoy your day, bro.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Sun's out.
So a lot of this stuff was laid at night, and I just wanted to get it down quickly so I didn't worry about how the joint lines were looking so much. But you kind of check after a while, and what it was is we're actually off probably a little less than half an inch down here, and over here we're right on the money. So this whole section was nice and square, and what happened was all these pavers started going off a little bit, just a little bit. Sometimes it's really hard to tell by eye, but we're looking a lot better now. All you gotta do is buy one of these floats here, magnesium floats. There's probably a lot cheaper things you can do the same thing with, but this works really good. It's good leverage. It starts off really skinny and then opens up to a little thicker part that you can wedge more. But kind of dedicated this one to doing this job, and you can see that's about the gap that we were off the string. So I started down there, pushed it out, and then pretty much come back like 3 or 4 pavers at a time and just slightly move them all forward. Just kind of go slow with it. Wedge the corner in until you can slide it in, and then you can just push it. And you're not trying to really push it hard, you're just shifting it. Obviously it's not going to be the same joint line, but kind of stay within that same parameter the whole way so it evenly moves. Now we're back into the area that's perfect. So I just moved a lot of pavers very easily just with this thing. It'll wear down over time, and sometimes you'll bend the corner, but if you flip it around the other way and then bend it back to straighten it out, I've used this a lot of times to do this very thing, because on a big patio, a long stretch, it's really hard to stay straight. So the best way is to just kind of lay out a big area, double check the string, and then you can kind of shift things around with a tool like this. So I got to get a few more rows in to get us back on track, and I wanted to do that before I put the other pallet of pavers on here, because then you're not moving anything. So something else you'll see us doing in the time lapses, we try to pick off multiple pallets and spread them out, but sometimes you'll still get a pallet or a few layers within a pallet that's a lot of darks, like you can see right here, but there's a lot of light ones over here. So we're gonna end up having to pull some of the darker ones out of the very dark areas and put some in the lighter areas and move the light ones over here, just to make it blend better than it is right now. The other thing is, the other night was rough. I completely forgot my own Milwaukee hammer drill. Used the customers, but it got late, so I got one of those angle iron supports for the stone veneer in. I got to get the other one and a little cut made. They got to get those in, so you'll see us doing that on camera too. We basically are using Tapcon screws, so we got to pre-drill a hole and then send the Tapcon in to hold the support up. Gonna keep it moving. That's a batch, man. That's a batch. Oh. Got that little square laid. Made some cuts on the borders. The whole fire pit area border is done. We went around and trenched the outer edge for the concrete. Looking mighty professional. So the customer is going to be building his own sitting wall on the outside at some point next year. It's going to go halfway to the corner, halfway. But until then, to keep the paver safe, we're going to put a little bit of concrete, not as much as we normally would. Like, we're not going to trench it. We just pulled some chip stone away, and we're going to put some concrete along the edge to hold it in place until he wants to put the sitting wall in. So that's why that stopped right there. Same thing on this side. We're just using a regular 80-pound concrete mix. A lot of different manufacturers out there, but we typically get like 12 to 15 feet per 80-pound bag along the edge. So sometimes we put a little bit more if we're doing like a stone apron around the outside, because then you're not too worried about grass growing. But when you're trying to get grass to establish, you put pretty much as little as possible while still being strong enough. Is that well worded?
Yeah, dude. That was actually good.
Hey.
Like textbook.
Textbook wording? Microsoft Word? To trowel it again after it sets. It's kind of wet right now, but that was pretty much exactly what I said. We got 17 feet to right here, and this is 8 feet, so it's 25. So basically 12.5 feet per bag is what it gave us. Hey, dude.
Hey.
Looking good, man.
Yeah.
Looking good. I have 4 layers of pavers laid out. 2 from here, 2 from there. So we're good for the next screeding. But we're gonna have to put that angle iron in next. So I'm gonna have to take Ben off of what he's doing to help me get that perfect. Then once that's in, I have 3/4 stone in my truck. We're gonna backfill and get everything to height so we can screed and lay for the rest of the day. Hey, hey.
Hey. Hey.
429.
429.
429. Sun's going down. Man, this place is really coming together though. We got a lot of pavers to lay. We got a couple hours left. About to lay. About to lay, hey.
Hey.
Ben's over here looking like he knows what he's doing. Been taught by the hardscape Mr. Miyagi.
Yep. Sensei.
We've been waxing on and waxing off for 5 years now. All right, here we go. Bad way to start. There we go. Oh, dude, I went to kick it in, dude. I had a mud ball on my foot. Look at it. Just gave it a. Wow. Oh, dude, that thing is not good. Wow. Unbelievable. King's Rook. the best way to lay out pavers is at an angle, not straight. So I'm trying to get the top part where Ben is up higher, and then you come down at an angle, tear it back because it's easier, you don't wedge it. But when you're screeding an area and you're trying to end off straight, it's fine to do that, but it's always better to get the top end where the string is out. Make sure it's good on the string and then work your way out. So we got to get this top area going quicker than this one. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. The next one, we're gonna finish up the border. We got a small retaining wall to build, and we got to build that block fire pit that I had mentioned. So the next video is gonna show how we wrapped up the rest of the patio, and we were cutting it really close last season, and the temperatures dropped pretty quick, so I was pretty happy to get this project finished. The only thing we couldn't do was the polymeric sand. But again, hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the like button if you did. Subscribe for a lot more content like this. But you guys already know the deal. Till the next one, God bless. Peace.